Welcome to the DigyKeys Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something I think we all struggle with.
Yeah,
Focus and concentration.
definitely.
Specifically, we're going to help you break free from those smartphone distractions that can really derail your day.
It's more than just feeling a little scattered.
Right.
We're talking about a real phenomenon
Wow.
called continuous partial attention.
Okay.
Imagine trying to write a report while someone keeps tapping you on the shoulder.
Yeah.
You never get fully immersed in either task.
Right.
That's what our brains experience with constant notifications.
Okay, that's a much more vivid way to understand it than just the name itself.
Yeah.
And this isn't some abstract concept.
Right.
DigyKeys Guide, How to Break Free from Smartphone Distractions, which we'll be diving into, shares some pretty sobering statistics.
Yeah.
For example, did you know that 55% of employers
Wow.
consider cell phone town use the biggest productivity killer in the workplace?
It's not surprising when you think about the psychology behind it. Oh,
Smartphones tap into our brain's reward system,
right.
creating a dopamine loop
Okay.
that can be incredibly hard to resist.
Hold on, explain the dopamine loop a little more.
Okay, sure.
I feel like I've heard that term,
Yeah.
but I don't fully grasp it.
Think about slot machines.
Okay.
You pull the lever, not knowing if you'll win or lose. That uncertainty, that intermittent reinforcement
Right.
is what makes them so addictive. Smartphones work in a similar way.
Okay.
Each time you check your phone,
Yeah.
there's a chance you'll see something exciting.
Mm-hmm.
A new message, like on your post,
Sure.
a breaking news alert.
Yeah.
That unpredictable reward keeps us coming back for more,
Right.
even if most of the time it's just another cat video.
So it's not just about willpower.
No.
Our brains are wired to seek out those little bursts of dopamine.
Exactly. And the more we give in to that urge,
Yeah.
the more our brains crave it,
Okay.
making it harder and harder to resist those distractions.
And it's not just impacting our productivity.
No.
There are serious mental and even physical downsides.
All right, let's get into those.
Okay.
We've all experienced the eye strain and headaches.
Right.
But what else is going on?
Well, the blue light emitted from our devices
Yeah.
interferes with our sleep.
Okay.
It suppresses the production of melatonin, a hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle.
Right.
This can lead to poor sleep quality,
Right.
leaving us feeling groggy and unfocused the next day.
I see.
Plus, for teenagers especially,
Yeah.
excessive smartphone use has been linked to increased anxiety
Oh, wow.
and even depression.
Wow. That's a lot to digest.
It is a lot.
So before we even jump into solutions,
Right.
it sounds like we need to understand our own phone usage.
Absolutely. DigyKey recommends starting with a personal phone audit.
Okay.
You can use built-in tools like screen time on iOS
Yeah.
or digital well-being on Android, or even just keep a journal for a few days to track your usage patterns. You might be surprised by what you discover.
I think most of us would be.
Yeah, probably. The average person spends 3 hours and 15 minutes on their phone every day.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah,
That could be spent on more meaningful activities.
definitely.
But the key isn't necessarily to drastically reduce your phone usage.
Right.
It's about understanding how you're using it
Okay.
and identifying areas where you might be wasting time or getting sucked into those addictive loops.
So it's like taking inventory of your digital habits.
Exactly.
Once you have that awareness,
Right.
you can start to make more conscious choices about how you use your phone.
Exactly. One helpful exercise is to categorize your phone use
Okay.
into essential and non-essential activity.
Okay. How would you define those categories?
Sure.
What makes something essential versus non-essential?
Think about it this way.
Okay.
Essential activities are those that directly contribute to your work
Okay.
and responsibilities
Mm-hmm.
or your well-being. Things like responding to work emails,
Right.
checking maps for directions,
Yeah.
or using a language learning app
Okay.
would fall into this category.
Okay. So things that have a clear purpose and benefit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Non-essential activities are those that are primarily for entertainment or distraction, things like scrolling through social media,
Yeah.
playing games, or browsing online shopping sites.
Right.
Now, there's nothing wrong with those activities in moderation,
Yeah.
but they can become problematic when they start to dominate our time and attention.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
Caught in the endless scroll, losing track of time and neglecting more important things.
It happens to the best of us.
Right.
But once you start to categorize your phone usage,
Okay.
you can apply the 80-20 rule, aiming to spend 80% of your phone time on essential activities
Right.
and limiting the remaining 20% to non-essential ones.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about finding a balance that works for you and allows you to Enjoy the benefits of technology without letting it control your life.
Exactly. And it all starts with awareness.
Okay.
That phone audit is a crucial first step
Great.
in understanding your own digital habits and identifying areas where you might need to make some changes.
So we've established the problem and the importance of self-assessment.
Right.
Now I'm really curious to dive into DigyKeys' practical strategies for breaking free from these distractions.
Yeah.
Let's move on to those now, shall we?
Let's do it. DigyKey breaks down their recommendations into categories that address both our phone settings and our own habits. Let's start with tweaking those settings to make our phones less demanding of our attention.
Sounds good. I know I'm constantly bombarded with notifications. Is that where we start?
Absolutely. One of the simplest but most effective things you can do is disable those non-essential notifications. Do you really need an alert every time someone comments on your Instagram post?
Probably not, though. Those little red badges can be pretty tempting.
I hear you. That's where focus modes can be a game changer. Both iPhone and Android phones have them now. They allow you to create custom profiles that silence specific apps and notifications during certain times, like during work hours or family time.
So it's like setting boundaries for your digital world. I like that.
Exactly. And there's another setting tweak that you might find surprisingly helpful. Have you ever heard of using grayscale mode to reduce phone distractions?
Grayscale mode. Honestly, I thought that was just for making your phone look vintage.
It can do that, but it also has a less obvious benefit. Those vibrant colors on our screens are designed to grab our attention. Switching to grayscale makes everything less visually stimulating and less tempting to look at.
Huh, that's actually pretty clever. It's like taking the candy coating off the temptation. Okay, so we've covered adjusting our phone settings. What about our own habits and behaviors? What does DigyKey suggest there?
They advocate for creating phone-free zones and times.
Okay, tell me more about this. How does that work in practice?
Think about designating certain areas in your home, like your bedroom or the dining table, as phone-free zones. This helps to create mental separation and encourages you to be more present in those spaces.
That makes sense. It's easier to relax and connect with loved ones when you're not constantly glancing at your phone.
Exactly. And it can also improve your sleep. The blue light from our devices can interfere with melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
So banishing phones from the bedroom is a good rule of thumb.
Definitely. And it's not just about physical spaces. It's also helpful to schedule intentional no-phone times, maybe an hour each evening dedicated to reading or spending quality time with family without any digital distractions.
I like that. It's about making a conscious choice to disconnect and be present in the moment.
Precisely. But we all know that sometimes, even with the best intentions, those urges to check our phones can be overwhelming. So DigyKey also highlights some helpful digital well-being tools that can lend a hand.
Oh, I'm all for some extra support. What kind of tools are we talking about?
There are apps like Forest, which gamify staying focused. You plant a virtual tree that grows as long as you stay off your phone. It's a fun and visual way to stay motivated.
That's such a cool concept. It appeals to our desire for progress and accomplishment.
Exactly. And there's Focus at Will, which uses music and soundscapes specifically designed to improve concentration. It's based on the science of how certain types of audio can shift your brainwaves into a more focused state.
Interesting. It's like a soundtrack for your productivity.
Right. And of course, there are the built-in tools that we mentioned earlier, like digital well-being for Android and screen time for iOS. They provide detailed reports on your app usage, allow you to set daily limits, and even schedule downtime where certain apps are blocked altogether.
It's like having a personal digital coach in your pocket.
But it seems like all of these tools and techniques are focused on managing our technology use. Does DigyKey suggest anything for shifting our mindset or developing our focus skills more broadly? Absolutely. They emphasize the importance of cultivating mindfulness and engaging in alternative activities as key parts of breaking free from smartphone distractions.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about how those practices fit into the picture.
Think of it this way. When we spend hours scrolling through our phones, we're essentially training our brains to crave distraction and instant gratification. Mindfulness is about rewiring our brains to appreciate the present moment and find joy in simpler things.
So we've explored some really insightful strategies for reclaiming our focus and managing those pesky smartphone distractions.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I'm eager to circle back to DigyKeys' guide. and see what specific tools and resources they recommend.
They actually delve into the psychology behind why those distractions are so hard to resist,
Oh,
which
okay.
I find fascinating.
Yeah.
They call it the hook model.
Oh.
And it explains how app developers design their products to keep us coming back for more.
Oh, this sounds right up my alley.
Mm.
I've always wondered how these apps manage to be so captivating. Break it down for me. What's this hook model all about?
It's a 4-stage process
Okay.
that starts with a trigger.
Okay.
This could be anything that prompts us to use an app,
Right.
a notification boredom stress,
Yeah.
even seeing someone else using their phone.
Okay.
Then comes the action,
Okay.
which is simply the act of engaging with the app.
Mhm.
Scrolling, clicking, watching,
Sure.
whatever it may be.
Okay. Trigger leads to action.
Right.
I'm with you so far.
Okay.
What are the next steps in this hook?
The action is followed by a reward,
Okay.
and that's where things get interesting.
Right.
This reward is the pleasurable feeling we get from using the app.
Right.
Maybe it's a hit of dopamine from seeing a funny meme,
Okay.
a sense of connection from interacting with friends online,
Hmm.
or a feeling of accomplishment from completing a level in a game.
So it's not just about the activity itself.
Right.
It's about the feeling it gives us.
Exactly. And that feeling, that reward,
Yeah.
is what drives us to the final stage investment. This is where we start to put more time and energy into the app.
Yeah.
We customize our profiles,
Mhm.
invite friends, or spend money on in-app purchases.
Right.
We're essentially strengthening that hook, making it even harder to break free.
Wow. When you lay it out like that, it's almost insidious.
Yeah.
No wonder it can feel like we're fighting an uphill battle against these distractions.
It's true. But the good news is that understanding the hook model can help us break free.
Okay, great.
DigyKeys suggests several strategies,
Okay.
and they all revolve around disrupting those 4 stages.
Okay, I'm all ears. Give me those actionable tips.
First, identify your personal triggers.
Okay.
Pay attention to what prompts you to reach for your phone.
Right.
Is it boredom, stress, loneliness,
Mm-hmm.
or something else entirely?
Yeah.
Once you know your triggers,
Okay.
you can start to develop alternative behaviors.
All right.
If boredom is your trigger,
Yeah.
have a book or a puzzle handy instead of your phone.
Okay.
If stress is the culprit, try taking a walk or doing some deep breathing exercises.
So it's about replacing those impulsive reactions
Exactly.
with healthier coping mechanisms. Another strategy is to make the action harder to perform.
Right.
You could delete tempting apps from your phone altogether,
Yeah.
or bury them deep in folders on your home screen
Yeah.
so they're not so easily accessible.
Sight out of mind. Right.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of adjusting your notification settings.
Right.
Turn off those non-essential notifications that constantly pull you away from your work or your conversation.
Yeah, good tip.
It's about taking back control of your attention.
Mm-hmm.
You decide when and how you want to engage with your phone, not the other way around.
Exactly.
And remember, we talked earlier about finding alternative sources of reward and satisfaction.
Yes.
DigyKey really emphasizes this. They recommend exploring activities that engage your mind, body, and spirit.
Mhm.
Hobbies, creative pursuits, spending time in nature, connecting with loved ones.
It's about rediscovering the joys of offline living.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These activities not only provide genuine fulfillment,
Right.
but they also help us break free from those artificial rewards that our phones offer.
Exactly.
It's a much healthier and more sustainable way to find happiness and satisfaction.
Absolutely. And finally, remember to be kind to yourself.
Okay.
Breaking free from these distractions is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
There will be times when you slip up,
Yeah.
and that's perfectly normal. The key is to learn from those moments
Mm-hmm.
and keep moving forward.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Well said. Celebrate your successes,
Yeah.
learn from your challenges, and remember that you have the power to create a healthier and more fulfilling relationship with technology.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for managing my digital well-being and reclaiming my focus. Thanks for guiding us through this. It's been truly illuminating.
My pleasure. It's been a great conversation. I hope our listeners feel empowered to take control of their technology and create a life that's more focused, intentional, and fulfilling.
Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe for more insights, and visit DigyKeys.com for resources like Ability to Focus Your Guide to Sharper Concentration. See you next time.